Hello, my makeup loving friends. How's it going? It's been another week. So we have a week's worth of new makeup releases to talk about. With me, I have the glorious, magnificent, annoyingly attractive, and talented Tia. Look,
I am all that.
it is very frustrating. I'm like, I've made an effort, and then she comes on and she's like, hold my beer. And I'm like, gosh, why do I bother? Anyways, she has her own Patreon. I'm putting the link down below along with all the other bits and pieces. Go follow her, subscribe to her. She's brilliant. You'll learn a lot more from her than from me, but whatever. You listen to me for the accent, and that's it. We're going to get into some little general announcements. So the first thing is Urban Decay. Right, I've given out to Urban Decay a number of times for just not being innovative and blah, 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 blah. But I do like that they are making some efforts in terms of kind of like activism and social change. So one of the first things I spotted in my Facebook feed was this particular picture. And I thought,
I saw that too.
Yeah, I hate retouching of pictures. And here they were just showing somebody with normal skin. And I was like, yes, thank you. Thank you for showing that.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to applaud them for that. And then the next thing they did was they've started a campaign against bullying, and they were just kind of talking about the statistics around that and some of the issues around like cyberbullying and bullying it like on a one-to-one basis. So it's just kind of nice to see brands taking stands on things like that. We saw Benefit doing something similar last week. It's nice to associate a cause with a brand. So I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. And then the last thing we're going to say in terms of a general announcement is Rem Beauty, which is by Ariana Grande. We kind of talked about this being a thing a few weeks ago. Well, it seems that it's in collaboration with Forma Brands, which is a beauty incubator from Morphe. It does look like it's going to be similar quality to Morphe, but I suspect a higher price tag. But as per usual, I've loads of people to thank for tagging me in content because you guys curate this. So a big thank you to Brianna, Ali, Gillian, Missa, Susie, Gina, Shanna, Cecily, Beth, Jade W, Daniela, Cheryl, Missy, Kylie M, Jade S, Sarah DY, Chrissy, Claire C, Amina, Franca, Kasia, Tony Brogan, Nisha, Anna, Sue, Amy Louise, Chris, Heidi, Paula, Hannah Louise, Kat, Pia Pidonia, Becky, Emily, Shalina, Amy, Haley, Abby, Tony, Alexis, Sylvia, Rebecca, Louise, Kim, Manuela T, and Shahina. I massively appreciate it, and as per usual, a massive thank you to my Patreons, a pretty excellent bunch of people. And in saying so, I want to say a big, huge happy birthday to our girls Anna and Abby. Very, very happy birthday. I hope you've gotten your cards soon. If not, we shall blame Royal Mail.
Well, you can give my card to me in person. Like, it doesn't have to be even sent. It's like a month away, but still, like.
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
So just FYI, the end of October, Tia is coming over here to visit me along with Missa and Daniela and Lucy, etc. And Frank is coming over as well. So like we're going to have a.
Oh my God! Yeah.
I know we're going to
know about Franca, but now I'm so excited. I get to meet so many of you, and we get to meet Anne Marie and like.
I know it's gonna be a whole thing. So by the end of that month, beware, there is going to be an IRL big, almost table round thing of releases and rants. It may get a bit unwieldy, but it is what it is. Our theme week is new to me, so it could be new products, it could be a new makeup style. So for me, it was a little bit of both. I've never done the reverse cat eye, so I did that, and I used the Antidote palette for that, but I also tried a new lipstick and lip liner, so pretty basic.
Yeah.
And then Tia rocks on up and is
I was like, yeah, kind of the same. So this is my newest palette. I got it as a gift from Missa and Mina, and I'm obsessed with this new corner here, like me, neutral. Like I love the whole palette, but this, so I kind of used those colors, did like a really grungy, like messy grungy look, which I like. I'm a perfectionist with makeup, so it's hard for me, but I think I did it quite well. Like I just let it go, and also I was in a rush, so it kind of helped.
It's beautiful.
But yeah.
Beautiful. But you know the drill. my Patreons have also taken to this challenge. And my lord, the gauntlet was thrown and they took it and they ran off with it and they've outdone themselves. So have a little look at their pictures.
It's always so annoying to look at them because everyone is so talented.
Yeah. I think to myself, okay, I'm gonna make an effort this week, and then they turn up and they're like, here I am, and I'm like, I don't bother. Just
Well,
gonna.
to be fair, you work so hard, so you don't have hours and hours. Like, prepare yourself to this.
It's true. I'm a very busy woman. Anyways, speaking of being busy, we have so much to talk about. This is a jam-packed week. So the very first thing is, well, it is Halloween, the most excellent time of year, in my opinion. And I am very excited that all of you guys are going to be over for Halloween.
Oh, well, we can have a Halloween party.
I know. I'm excited.
I'm so excited.
I mean, we take that excitement and we dial it back because we're talking about iHeart Revolution, and this is what they have kind of imposed upon us. There are 3 different iHeart Revolution palettes. There's some lip oils, and then there's some like bath fizzers and bits and pieces like that. I remember this time last year when they came out with 2 different,
Yeah, this was one of them. This looks exactly like the Ghost palette. Like, come on.
And do you remember the other, like the Book of Spells one, or?
Yeah, I remember they have a couple, but I only picked this up. Like, I have to say, this isn't like amazing quality. This purple though, is amazing quality. The rest of the palette is like, but like, I don't know. iHeart Revolution doesn't seem to have like their eyeshadow formula.
No.
Like that great. And like, even though they have sometimes something interesting, I kind of don't get that excited because I don't have that great experiences with their eyeshadows.
That's the thing, they're very hit or miss. You can either find something that's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And that can sometimes even be within the palette. I mean, like you're saying, that you're like, oh my god, there's one shade here that's really good, and then the rest are a bit eh.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, they're affordable, but that's still your money.
Yeah, I kind of see iHeart Revolution as like a teenager, like a kid who's getting into makeup brand, more than like an actual like a brand that people who are like obsessed with makeup love. You know?
Yeah, it's not for us. Like, I'm in my early 30s. I know.
I can't even say. I'm gonna turn 35 like in a couple of weeks. I'm getting a bit annoyed.
I demand that you bring your birth certificate with you because I don't believe that. Like, I think that you're actually 22, 23. Like, whatever's going on over in Finland, there's like some sort of...
There's something in the water.
Yeah, some sort of elixir of life. It's weird. I mean, I'm for it, but yeah, it is strange. And when we talk about strange, we're also talking about these palettes because, like, they're kind of they're similar to last year's offering, but also I look at them and I'm like, they're kind of similar to each other as well.
Yeah.
Like,
and the cover story is like yeah, you could do like looks with it, but they don't have much like dark shades. They're very mid-tone.
Yeah.
Like, everything is very mid-toned. I like depth in my look. Like, I like to use black, like deep shades. And this just gives me the middle ground.
Yeah.
The like blending shades. And then I'm like, where's my like deep colors? Where's my blacks? There seems to, I'm not sure if that a black in one of those palettes.
Yeah, it looks like a slatey black rather than like a true black.
Yeah.
It feels very like muted as palettes. And I mean, I'm not going to talk about the bath fizzer bomb things because, like, I mean, look, whatever, that's okay. I don't hate that, but I don't have
they're cute. Like, I wouldn't turn it down. If I had a bathtub, I would, like, maybe if that's not expensive, like, treat myself and that's okay. Like, that's a bit of like, I can take it or leave it.
Yeah, same. Like I don't have a bath, so it's a moot point to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you can kind of tell neither of us are rushing out to buy this. And based upon the poll, the science, a lot of you aren't either, because 81% of you said no thanks.
Yeah, I think it's because like this isn't like, I feel like this more targeted as like teenagers, someone who's just getting into makeup.
I'm also like, why did they have to come out with 3 palettes? Just come out with one.
Yeah,
Think through
yeah,
one well.
yeah. Just do one well and not three kind of mediocre.
Yeah. But I think this is interesting. This was Makeup Revolution. They came out with the ultimate pigment base. So there's 5 kind of royal tone colors, and then there's 5 kind of like pastel-y colors. I don't think this is bad.
No, I think this was very expected
Yeah.
after they like ultimate eye base. I like the eye primer. It's only thing is like the deeper colors in here. I've seen swatches. The green is such an ugly tone of green.
Yeah.
Like I don't get it. And also they don't look that pigmented. They look kind of watery in
Yeah.
swatches. The pastels surprisingly looked better. And that's the set that I'm more interested in because of they looked a bit better. But then again, like I don't need maybe that many. Like I have a couple of peel pieces like those bases, but I like more of something that sets down, kind of like the peel with paints, rather than like these super creamy that are gonna like crease and they're not that pigmented. You have to pack a lot of product on to get like the pigmented resolution, and then it's gonna crease, and then it's like
Yeah, that's exactly my concern, that based upon the consistency of it, that even people who don't have, say, mature eyelids or creasy
yeah,
eyelids, I think they'll still end up with creases with this. Possibly. I don't know. I think it's an interesting direction for them to go in. Like I don't think it's bad, but
yeah,
it doesn't call to me because I already have enough stuff like this.
yeah.
But I think it's good for people who are starting off with makeup. That's
I
kind
think
of
it's
how
a
I
good.
view Revolution.
I think people are excited about this launch, and then they're gonna get it, like because it's an affordable option for like this kind of product, in like UK or like in these brands. Because in America and US, I think there's a lot of brands, really affordable ones that do these kinds of
Hmm.
things. But then in like we only have like Peewees.
Yeah. Yeah, because like if you're in the States, you can get the likes of Beauty Creations, which are pretty much the same sort of
Yeah,
thing.
and I
But I
think
think,
they have City Colors that came up with like just recently also this kind of a thing. So they have like different brands to choose of.
yeah, absolutely. So it's good, I suppose, for us that we're starting to get a few more kind of options in that sense.
Yeah,
That being said, it's not for me, but like do you know what? Out of everything that they've done to us in the past, I don't think it's the worst. And a
nah,
lot of you guys seem to think the same thing because the polls said that 68% of you loved it. But this is the thing with Revolution: dizzying highs and terrible lows.
yeah,
It's like, oh, you could do decent things, but now look
yeah.
at what you've done. Like, it's weird. And speaking of weird, okay, this is, believe it or not, an eyeshadow palette by Armani Beauty. They are claiming this is an eyeshadow palette, and I'm like, no, you need to separate the pans. Can I also say, I looked at this, and Freud would have a lot to say because I instantly saw a penis hidden within the depths of this palette, if we can even call it, and I have drawn alongside it as to,
Or boobs or
oh yeah,
penis.
the sexual organs of your choice are
Yeah,
found in this palette. $117.
this is just gimmicky. This is like who asked for this? Nobody's gonna use that as an eyeshadow base.
Oh,
Look at those swatches.
oh, they look
Look at
terrible.
those swatches.
Do you know
Like,
what? I reckon I Heart Revolution would swatch better than that.
yeah. This as an like a blush, okay. Like I don't hate it, but I wouldn't run out to buy it. But eyeshadow palette. Like, come on. I think they just did it as a blush, and then someone said, "Oh, you could use this as an eyeshadow palette too." And then they're like, "Oh, yeah, that's a great idea. Then they will pay more money at this because it's a double use product."
Do you know what? That is probably exactly what it was. Like, I feel like that's
Yeah,
what happened in the boardroom.
yeah,
I, do you know, the color story, it could have been okay. Like, you know, wearable, not for me.
so many
I,
lights.
I hate the presentation of this. It stresses me the F out. Like, even if this was
Yeah,
a blush highlighter thing, I hate when things are mixed in that way.
yeah.
Because then I'm like, what color am I going to get?
You can't use like the one color of that on
Yeah.
your face as a blush or as a highlight. You have to mix it in.
But you're going to get kick up then from one
Yeah,
shade into the other one.
I don't like this at all.
Like, it stresses me out. I do like, though, that it's like crouching tiger, hidden genitals. Like, there's a lot of hidden genitals. Like, there's more than one penis in there. So,
Yeah.
you know, maybe that's the game. Like,
Well, maybe they're like sex cells. Sex cells, so let's put penises and titties there, and like, then they're gonna pay that £117 price.
I mean, I guess that's what marketing has come to. I mean, it's just, no, like, I
It's like,
really,
this is such a crappy product that we're gonna make the pants look like the design there look like penises and like titties, so people are distracted by the shitty product, and then they're like, "Oh, I'll buy this titties, penis."
I mean, that's obviously what gets me to buy all makeup products.
Yeah,
Yeah. I put it to you guys. 6% of you said that you loved it. I didn't have anybody else really telling me that they saw a penis in there, so I am worried about myself, if I'm honest. It does feel like
I'm worried about the 6%. I'm hoping it's like a mistake. They were
yeah.
like dropped their phone and accidentally pressed love it or
I
something.
mean, I have gotten messages from people in the past on other ones where they're like, no, I meant to say no. And I'm like, okay, I understand. It's okay. Don't worry. So we take these statistics with a pinch of salt. Right? Hipdot have been collaborating. They did their recent collaboration was with My Chemical Romance. And now they're like collaborating with board games because they're like, hey, here's game night. And I'm like, oh,
They're
game
so
night.
all over the place. I
What's
can't
going
get
on?
a grip of that brand. Like, I don't know what they're about.
But can I also say, is there something that is going on in terms of like, was there like a memo spread out to all beauty companies of we must do something game themed? Because last week we talked about Bobbi Brown doing something with Monopoly, and can I also say, Pydonia had a lot of really good suggestions as to how they should improve upon that. So you know, listen to her, guys. But now we have another brand coming out with a game night thing, and I'm like, hey, what's going on?
Maybe it's because we're in quarantine. Like, people can't get, like, the last, like, how many years this have been, so like I can't even keep up the count. So maybe they're like, oh, people are at home, they will play board games because they can go out, let's do a game collab.
Look, right, here's the thing. I actually think that this Monopoly palette isn't bad. I can see, like, it makes sense in the sense that the colors correspond.
Are those the pants though?
Yeah, yeah. I hate all of the wasted space. Like, that stresses me the F out. But I don't think it's bad. It doesn't make me like horribly angry.
The Play-Doh is horrible. The Ouija board, there's some good like colors in it, but I don't know.
My mind had blocked out the Play-Doh palette. So
Yeah,
when you
it's
said
like
Play-Doh palette, I was like,
it isn't there. It's
my mind was trying to protect me. It was like, don't look at it.
it's so horrible.
Oh yeah, it really. Oh, and even though there's like a shade of green in there that I like, even that doesn't like bring it back from the brink. I do find it funny though that they have a Ouija board, because it is true that that's how Ouija boards started out. They were actually like a game, They started like the we ya, it was what it was originally called. So like yes in French and yes in German, and it was meant to be about like accessing the subconscious. So like they're correct in that, but I do think like a lot of people are very wary of anything that is kind of linked to that sort of thing. I personally don't really mind, but I know that some people it can be kind of upsetting. So it seemed like a weird one to kind of choose.
Yeah.
For a
maybe that's like because this is in Halloween time. So kind of like,
Then none of the rest of them are.
Yeah, I don't know. Like this brand, like it just doesn't make sense most of the time.
I mean, they've done Clueless, they've done SpongeBob, they've done My Chemical Romance, and now they're doing board games.
They just don't make sense. Like, that's it.
Are you okay, guys? Do you need someone to talk to? Like, I mean, I'd volunteer, but I'm afraid of what you would say based upon your releases, because it's worrying. Again, you guys are kind of coming up with similar opinions. 25% of you love it. I'm assuming it's for the monopoly, because we juxtapose that against the Bobbi Brown from last week, which was lackluster. And I do think this is a better execution of that idea.
Yeah.
I would say, though, the wasted space does still irritate me, but it's not the worst we've ever seen. Then Milk Makeup, I mean, they're known for their Hydro Grip primer, face primer. So they've decided to essentially extend the range, and they have the Hydro Grip eyeshadow and concealer primer. So I guess you can use it as like a concealer primer. I've never heard of a concealer primer before.
Don't like that you have to buy a concealer primer now too. Like, come on.
Don't have to. Don't listen to them.
Like, if this is like 2-in-1, like eyeshadow and concealer primer, I would want to, like, for concealer primer, I would want something hydrating, something that's gonna like smooth down, give it some like hydration in my under eyes so they don't like go crepey and cakey. But then on the other hand, on top of your eyelid, you would want something that like blocks the oil coming out, like, and ruining like your makeup. So I don't see how can it be both.
Absolutely, because the Hydro Grip primer for the face was meant to be hydrating.
Yeah.
So I'm confused as to, like, I get why they're saying like Hydro Grip, because that's been like one of their most successful products, and they're like trying to extend the line. Yeah. But surely you're not using the same thing on, or the same sort of components on the eye as you would on the face. And
yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. I am intrigued. Like, I wouldn't mind trying it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to.
I don't like that it's like clear, because if I prime my eye, I want to, like, I'm such a, like, I have so veiny eyelids that something like that, it's gonna like show through. And I want like the blank canvas when I start to do my eyeshadow. So I don't think, like, maybe as in like under eye primer, like, I kind of like the idea if it's like hydrating, but I hate that it has to have like it's $24 and you have to have like a new product for that. So I don't know.
I am intrigued though, because Elf obviously came out with their answer to the Hydro Grip.
Yeah.
It's much cheaper and apparently very good. It isn't on sale here yet, but once it does come here, I will get it. I'm interested for when Elf come out with their response to this.
Yeah.
Like,
that could be interesting.
But 54% of you did say that you wanted it. I mean, it is a little bit better than some of their previous offerings. Remember when they gave us like 7 shades of foundation or concealer or whatever? I've repressed it because it upset me so much. Niki Tutorials has obviously had some look in terms of collaborations in the past. Let's not talk about Too Faced, and then the Beauty Bay one was a bit hit or miss. So now she's coming out with her own brand. So everyone kind of went, oh my god, it's going to be makeup, but it isn't really makeup. She's called it Nimya, and there's a lot of skincare stuff. I think this makes a lot of sense based upon, I think her mum is into all of that, and also I think it's actually a very smart decision, because during lockdown skincare sales increased by, I think it was like 250 or 300%. So I think Niki is very clever, and I think she saw there was
Yeah.
that room for growth in the market, and that so many celebrities, influencers, etc. are coming out with a makeup brand that is almost saturated. However, there isn't as much skincare. So I think she was smart in that sense. That being said, the lovely Gaia knows quite a bit about skincare. So she actually had a little look at the ingredients, and she put on to the Sexy Sausages, which is Mrs. Patreon group. She put onto the Facebook page that the face cream is packed with fragrance. Now, for some people, that's totally fine. You know, their skin doesn't react to it. For others, it's not fantastic. The setting spray has no benefits, and again, it's heavily fragranced. The eye stick ingredients are decent, but your face moisturizer should do the same thing unless you have a specific concern or preference. So this looks like the best product in the line, and serum marketing is very dodgy. Something about how the alcohol dennet isn't drying because it's fruit derived and lower in percentage. So it does feel like it's all quite expensive. Like, it's the cheapest item is $15, and that's a fan. And Makeup Revolution came out with something similar to that recently.
I think the fan is like the most interesting thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's not for me. Like, I don't usually get like super expensive, like more expensive skincare products. So this is not for me. I get it. It makes sense for her. She's very skin focused. I know she does like a crazy eyeshadow look, but she's very like skin focused herself.
I mean, I wish her lots of success, because she does seem to be like a really nice person.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone is like actively being like, oh my god, we want to see her torn down or anything like that. I mean,
I want to see her torn down.
Like, I am that petty. I mean, it's all right. There's nothing in there that like grabs me. Now, I do love kind of bougie skincare. I am that bee. Like, I love that. I like playing with skincare. I do think like the price tag is quite a bit, and if there isn't anything like special about them, I'm kind of like, I don't know. I'd like to see what people think of them. You know, I'd like to see further reviews, etc. But for me, based upon the price, I won't be getting it.
I'd like to see in future if she like comes up with like makeup items.
Yeah,
that would maybe be more my ball game.
Yeah, same. And it seems that a lot of you are having similar opinions, because 30% of you said that you wanted something, while 70% of you said, I'll wait and see. What, is it like once a week we have a Disney collaboration? Is everything okay?
I'm getting bored.
I mean, honestly, I think every brand is doing collaboration with them at this point. It's exhausting. This is Sigma though, and they are doing a Cinderella-inspired collection. So there's an eyeshadow palette, a cheek duo palette, and there's some brushes and some lip glosses. I mean, I can kind of see it in terms of the eyeshadow palette, kind of. I mean, vaguely, in the sense that there's like a blue, there's blues in there for the dress, but I think they could have put pinks in there as well, because she also had a pink dress. So they could have done pinks and blues, and like, it's okay.
Like, I don't hate the palette, but I can see some people would actually really like this. It's like neutrally, but with like pops of colors, like green, a bit of blue, a bit of purple. I don't like hate it. It's not for me. I can see that some people will actually really like it, and I think Sigma has like pretty good formula. What I've heard of, I haven't tried any.
They're meant to be really, really good. They're like one of those like underrated things, to the point that I'm like, I really want to get them at some point. The thing I actually really like from this is the face duo.
Yeah, I like it, but I don't like that they only have one.
Yeah.
It's not gonna suit a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, we've said that, like, well,
it's gonna suit me and you, but like,
I mean, how many times do we have to say it, of like, please be inclusive?
Yeah.
It feels a bit, and I get it. She's a white princess, but like, weirdly, people who aren't Caucasian might also like Cinderella, and it would be nice if they could get something from. Like, I don't think it's a wild idea to.
But I do like that the palette actually looks pretty inclusive. Like, there's darker colors, so that could work.
Yeah, I agree.
The brushes and lip glosses, the only thing is the face duo.
Yeah.
couldn't work for
I do
everyone.
like Sigma's brushes though. Again, I put it to you guys, and 36% of you love it. I assume it's our Disney fans amongst us, which
Yeah.
fair enough. Like, I get that. We then have Blend Bunny
Oh,
Cosmetics, and this is the Surge eyeshadow palette. It's coming out on the 18th of September. So as you're watching this, go quickly. I'm gonna say it. I absolutely love it. It's 43
yeah.
US dollars. Like this
Stunning.
appeals to me in the sense of everything is kind of structured and coordinated and segmented,
Yeah.
that each column is its own color story, and I love that.
Like, look at those really deep colors on the center. But then you have some pastels, you have some mid-tones, you have some neons. You also have like shimmery shades. So this is like the perfect palette. It's not too big. There's not like a duplicate of colors. To me, it's perfect.
Yeah.
And I want it. I need it. I hate that it's a US brand. It's gonna be really expensive to send here, so probably not gonna get it.
I think I
But
will break and get this. I really like the look of it. And I know that
yeah,
I've spoken to Missy and she reckons the quality is really, really good. So I'm
yeah,
like,
I've they have the blends palette before this, and I've heard nothing but excellent quality out of it. Like everyone says, the colors are so pigmented that like it's one of their best palettes that they have. They blend great. They're just like, I'm really intrigued.
do you know what I like
Maybe
about
as
this?
like a Christmas treat to myself or something, I could possibly get it, but we'll see. You go
Well,
buy it now when it launches, and then it will be there when I come to visit, and I can try.
yes. There we go. That's what
That's
we'll do.
brilliant.
Do you know what I really like about this? I like that the pastel bit, it is pastel, but it's like a dark leaning pastel. And I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, they're like not like they're kind of like a muted
Yeah.
pastel. Like kinda. I don't know how to explain it, but like
Yeah, they're like
for
gray
me, it's like the
tones.
deep row. The
Yeah.
deep row in there, it's like the selling point. It's
Yeah.
beautiful, but like look at those really saturated, deep colored mattes. Like, oh,
Yeah. I think it's really interesting. I think all of the colors go together. Like, I can see how each of
yeah,
those colors would work in unison
yeah,
with each other. So I think this was actually a really well curated palette.
yeah.
I want
One
it.
of the best ones I've seen in a while.
Yeah. I agree. I think this is definitely a standout. So I think this is gonna be one for me. I may
Yeah,
break and get something that I don't need, but want. But I'm
yeah,
doing it for science, and also, if Tia and Missa and Daniela, etc., are coming over, then
yeah,
I need to entertain them with new things.
yeah, yeah. So you
That's how
must
it works.
buy it.
Exactly. And again, a lot of you guys seem to like this as well, because 60% of you said that you loved it. Then we have Coloured Rain, and they're coming out with some little mini palettes, the little 6-pan palettes. They have the neutral chic, the pretty chic, the wealthy chic, and the sunset chic. They are really quite cute. I mean, you know me, the green one is the one that I'm looking
Yeah.
at, and I'm like,
I'm looking at
amazing.
it and I'm like, oh, pretty. It's not like I don't hate it. I don't like absolutely love this collection, but I see that it's a good collection for
Yeah.
them. The only thing why I don't love it is just because I'm not so good at with mini palettes.
Yeah.
Like I struggle if it's like a smaller palette. I struggle so much to like create a look. I actually think the green is the best, like well thought out palette, because you can see there's like every shade you could need to create a look. But I can't see that you could do multiple looks, like different looks with these palettes. Like
Yeah.
there's a couple of looks you can do, and then it's like that's it. That's like what the smaller palette. It's
Yeah.
like you
They
don't
are
have
very
to-
much like your everyday palette of like,
Yeah.
I'm just going to quickly do something and I don't have to think too much
Yeah.
about it, which is great. Sometimes we need that in our everyday lives.
Yeah.
But I do sometimes do very, very simple makeup. So I do like little pans like this that I can just
Yeah.
quickly, like if it's like date night and I'm like, I can't be bothered to do anything major, because I don't want to be sitting there for like 3 hours doing intricate lines and Sahila's
Yeah.
like, that's nice. He won't care. But if I put a splash of color, he's gonna be like, oh, that's nice. So I think for that, it's actually quite good. For makeup users like us, it's not really a thing. I like Color Drain. I think their formula is really, really good. It is a black owned brand, and 60% if you did say that you loved this as well. So I totally get it. It's a really nice kind of like everyday colorful palette. Then we have frickin' Fabulous Cosmetics. They have some duochrome eyeshadows, and there's like lions imprinted on them. They're $23.13 each, and they have 5 different multi-chrome liquid eyeshadows. They're $18.79. 10 out of 10 for like the packaging, because that lion, that looks so friggin' cool.
Oh,
Friggin' fabulous.
Like, I think it's a good thing. Everyone's coming out with multi-chromes. Like, don't get that excited about it anymore.
Yeah, I feel like we've hit like that kind of like, oh, okay.
Like, they're pretty, and I'm like, oh, nice. But I'm like, there's so many brands.
Yeah, and it's good that there are so many brands that do this, because it means we now have options, and it brings down the prices then overall. Like, you know, supply and demand. It's just basic economics.
Yeah.
I like the presentation of this. However, am I going to go off and buy some single shadows at this point? Not at that price. No, not at that price. Like, I will go to like Titmouse and like spend an absolute bomb, as I have done recently. Everything's fine, and I'll get some of their duochromes, or I'll get, you know, some of the pretty pastel kind of shadows from there. But I think this is just a little bit too pricey for me. I love the packaging. I think this would make a beautiful like little, I keep saying stocking filler these days, and I think it's because I'm seeing like all this Christmas stuff arriving in, and I'm like, too early. But this is, I would think of this as being a stocking filler of like something really nice. Like, you get one single shadow and it has a lion. I'd love that.
That's really pretty.
I'd be delighted with that. I'd be like, oh, that's a lovely little gift. Thank you. I think, again, you guys are in the same sort of position as us, because 39% said want, while 61% not for me. Colourpop are giving me massive deja vu vibes with this. Like, I feel like we have seen this palette several times from them before. They had like a wine palette, and then there was some other one that I can't 100% remember. This is a quote-unquote new collection from them. They say it's a 90s inspired collection. It's the Plush Like Me. So, you know the general drill. They have an eyeshadow palette, some blush sticks, lipsticks, lip pencils, and then a solid shimmery body powder.
The blush sticks look nice.
Yeah.
The like lip products look nice. The palette is just nothing new. I don't even think the lipsticks or the blushes, maybe. I'm not too sure how their collection is, but I think this is just the same old repackaged thing. I don't get excited anymore.
Yeah, they've done this before, where they've taken like existing products, but they've repackaged it to be part of a collection. Now, I took this information from Trend Mood, so they didn't say anything there about them being repackaged. So just double check that. I do like the blush sticks. I'm a hoe for a cream product. That's just how I am. Yeah. But other than that, there's nothing that like really grabs me from this. Like, Colourpop, come on. We know you can do really, really interesting stuff. Pull this out. Stop it. I can see how it's like 90s inspired in a way, but it's still just like very meh. But 25% of you said that you loved it. Then we have JC Cosmetics, and this is their Olivia collection. So there's a 30-pan eyeshadow palette for $39.99. There are 4 glitters, 2 duochrome, and 1 metallic in there. They have a trio face palette for $24.99 and 16-piece professional brushes for $44.99. Now, when I saw this, I got massive Lois Cosmetics Meet Me in the Underworld vibes.
Like, look at this. It's like basically the same, just with more colors.
Yeah.
I think like maybe like it's not like I don't think they like did it on purpose necessarily. Like this color story, like this color story has been really popular like this fall and this year. But like the brushes, that's what makes me like question it.
Same.
Because they're exactly the same.
I know. I have them here. Like.
So I'm like, Uh,
Yeah, I'm kind of in a similar boat. I also don't think the palette is as interesting as the Meet Me in the Underworld. I think that some of the tones of green in the JC Cosmetics one aren't quite right. There's something about those tones that they aren't quite grungy enough. They're a bit too bright in a way.
I think there's some pressed glitters.
There are, yeah.
Like I don't like those. Like I like some pressed glitters. I don't hate everything, but when they're that deep,
Yeah.
I'm like, where? Like I'll usually when I use glitter, I want something bright.
Yeah.
I don't use like really dark ones that much. So I don't hate it. Like obviously I love the like this color story, but like I'm not gonna run to get it. I have the underworld.
Yeah.
I have the wilderness. Like I have the similar stuff already. I don't need this.
Yeah, I think this brand has really caught on to the trend that's happening right now. Which,
Yeah.
you know, fair enough. I mean, everyone's doing it. We recently just had the Be Perfect Antidote palette, which is similar sort of vibes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's bad. I was immediately caught by, oh my God, this is giving
Yeah.
NARS Cosmetics vibes.
Like it's the packaging. Like I think if
Brushes.
there's so many like similar markers to that, and we know how good of a launch and how popular was the underworld. So yeah.
Anyways, 38% of you said that it had to be yours. Then Odin's Eye have recently announced that they are doing a collaboration with 3 different makeup artists. So there's the Fancy Face, there's Annette's Makeup Corner, and there's J.U.D. So I only really know Annette's Makeup Corner. I don't really know the other 2 collaborators. So they've come out with 3 different palettes each. They're €27.90 each. I'm glad that Annette's Makeup Corner is collaborating with them because I tried to get the Menagerie palette and it was a disaster on 2 separate occasions. So
I actually think the Annette palette is the best.
I agree because the other 2 don't entirely
Like I like the hummingbird one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the hummingbird one. The red dragon one is just not for me. I don't like that much like warm tones. Wearing like a really warm tone look today, but like just that is not for me. I have that already. Out of these, I would definitely maybe. I hope this isn't a limited edition, like 2 limited edition, because I'm just not buying things at the moment. I'm saving money, but like I would like maybe the Annette Makeup Corner. Like I do think it's really pretty palette, and I do love Odin's Eye formula. Like the shimmers are out of this world, and I think these are like interesting color stories out of them because they usually have like kind of some of the palette are just really all over the place for me.
Yeah.
Like I struggle to use them as a standalone palettes because of that. I think this is really nice.
Yeah, I agree. I'm in a similar thing. I think the hummingbird is my favorite, then followed by Annette's Makeup Corner is one, like the wolf. I think they're very, very pretty. Like I'm in 2 minds as to whether or not I'll get anything, but I mean I think it's really, really nice, and I hope it all goes really, really well. I think Odin's Eye are kind of better set up to handle a launch like this.
Yeah.
Like you don't hear as many issues with them.
Yeah.
Odin's Eye do seem to be like a very good brand. I've tried some stuff from them. I do like them.
Yeah.
And like I'll also say like I'm really glad that they're collaborating with people that have supported them because I know that Annette's Makeup Corner has like we've even talked about them before. So it is just nice when you see a collaboration with somebody that you're like, okay, this makes sense.
Yeah.
And when I put it to you guys, 52% of you said that you wanted it. So it could be, you know, you want some bits or maybe not all of it. Then the last thing that we have that's coming out immediately is Morphe. Morphe have collaborated with Ashley Strong, and this is the Affirmation Magic Artistry palette. They have some lip duos in Tourmaline Soul and Gilded Spirit, and they also have a cake liner palette, which no. Morphe, you're not doing this to me again. You're not. And I am not.
I don't trust Morphe with cake liners. They have 2 palettes already which has cake liners in them that aren't really cake liners. They're just like eyeshadow. It's like, come on,
It is,
anyone in this planet like their cake liners before in the palette?
honestly.
I've heard everyone hates them. Like, why?
But we know that it's possible to do this. Cash Beauty did it, and they did it
Yeah,
really well.
they're actually really nice cake
They
liners.
are.
But
Thank you.
I just, even though these might be good cake liners, maybe they're just like heard everyone's saying like they don't like and now they do it right. But I don't trust it anymore.
No.
And I would not buy it anymore.
No, once bitten, twice is shy. Like I'm not putting myself through that. The
They're
colours,
really weird shades, like really dark.
yeah, I mean it's okay. It is what it is. The palette itself, like the eyeshadow palette, it's not my kind
I
of
like the one half with like
yeah,
the deep,
the right
like
hand side.
cool tone ones, but
Same.
I don't like the other one.
I
at all.
totally agree. I think if they had made 2 9-pan palettes, I would very much be looking at the one on the right hand
Yeah,
side that has like the greys and the purples. Like I like that
yeah,
one. The other side, don't get it at all.
yeah.
Currently, the poll of this is up, and as of the last time that I was looking at it, 18% of you guys wanted it. So I'll flash on screen as to how many are wanting it now. So there you go. So that means we're on to sneak peeks. So one of the first things that we saw was Too Faced are showing us this Butterflies collection. So obviously they have the obligatory Better Than Sex mascara coming out in butterfly packaging. Can you do
Not
something about
even
that?
a good mascara.
Yeah. I mean, come on now. Look, at least this is them trying to do something a bit different with their eyeshadow. Like,
There's now 2 pop of colors instead of one.
and of course, one of them is purple because that's the
Yeah, and
rule.
one of them is blue.
Like, well done. Well done. I don't hate it, but I'm also
It's
like,
not the worst that they've done ever. It
forgettable.
feels outdated to me. It felt like when we were starting to get more color in mainstream brands. This feels like it. Like, ooh, we're gonna experiment a little. Let's add a couple pops of colors there. It's gonna be exciting. Everyone's gonna love it. And it gives me that vibe. It's outdated to me.
Yeah. Do you know what
Do
it reminds? Do you know what it reminds me of? The
Yeah.
Colourpop glitch palettes,
Can't remember.
the 2000s collection.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
There's some similarities there. Like,
Yeah.
look, the packaging is super cute. Too Faced always do like nice packaging. I think that's how they get us.
Yeah. I feel like they're focused too much on the packaging, not and too little on the actual product.
Yeah.
If they could switch that, and like maybe, like I don't hate their quality. I used today a couple of their pressed glitters on this palette.
Yeah.
This palette is actually not bad.
Yeah, I have that as well.
Neutral it is. Like I'm only keeping it for the couple of, and this blue. This blue
Yeah.
is like insane.
Same.
That's the only reason I'm keeping it. But like if they would do a little bit more, like give me something more. Oh,
Yeah, it feels almost like they're afraid to do anything like that's kind of out.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Like they're afraid to like go more out because they're scared of like losing the customers who like this like really neutral, everyday, chic stuff.
But the problem is there's so many brands that do neutral everyday stuff
Yeah,
that, and you can get it just as good for cheaper. So
yeah,
like
yeah,
they will do themselves out of business if they don't try and innovate.
yeah.
And it seems that a lot of you guys were agreeing with us because only 13% of you said that you wanted it.
Oh, and I agree with you, like 100%, giving spring vibes. Is this a spring palette or is this like a their holiday? Really?
I mean,
Really?
I don't get me wrong. Like lockdown has confused my sense of time and space. However, we are in autumn. I know that by looking outside.
Yeah.
So, like,
These are not the tones for me when it's like autumn and like when we have winter. I like more like grungy, like rich, dark, deep
I like
colors.
royal tones. You know,
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm the same. Like very jewel tones is what I want
Yeah,
in like autumn winter seasons. So this
yeah,
doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, given that like how much of a sneak peek is this?
yeah. I
Like,
hope, like, kinda hoping that it is a spring release, but then I'm like, why are you sneak peeking now?
yeah. Then we have Physicians Formula, and they have 6 new pressed powders. So there's the Butternut Highlighter, the Bitter Butter Illuminating Powder, Miss Butterfly, which is a blush, a Baby Butter, which is a banana powder, Butter Puff, which is a bronzer, and Butterscotch, which is a mattifying powder. And they are apparently all coming soon. I will say, like, one of the powders looks kind of green. So
Yeah,
I'm
this
like,
confused. This really confuses me. Like, why is there one color bronzer, then like a blush, a highlight, a banana? Like, this confuses me because they're only one shade of everything.
yeah, it's very Caucasian.
Well, Physicians Formula is notorious
Yeah.
of doing this, so
Are we surprised by this release?
no.
No, but they are. They're really like almost like doubling down and kind of going, no,
I think the
we're not going to be
packaging,
inclusive.
yeah, I think the packaging is cute. Like, it's really like, oh, that's adorable.
They're at the same meeting as Too Faced.
Yeah, adorbs.
OMG! Are we going to do anything innovative? No, but we're going to do
No.
super cute packaging.
Yeah.
And a lot of you guys are having the same sort of opinion because 33% of you want it, whereas 67% just said meh, which is the sound of this collection.
Yeah.
And that sound also pours over onto Hourglass and their holiday collection. So every holiday they basically come out with a face palette. I've ended up buying it in the past. If you watched my live this week, you would have seen me swatching it, and you can see just how pale their palettes actually are, because I am the colour of the wall and they're very pale even on me. They're like, oh look, we're kind of doing a darker palette here. And I'm like, are you?
Are you really? Let's put a couple of deeper blushes in there and let's fool people that it is darker, when in actually that is like maybe medium. And still, like, I think some of the shade look even too pale for that.
Yeah, I agree. And like, I just don't know what it is that they can't seem to be inclusive or don't want to be inclusive.
And also, is this even new? Like, this looks exactly like their other palettes, their holiday releases. They always look the same with
Yeah.
like maybe like a slightly different colors, but on the face, are they actually gonna look different?
Well, that's the thing. They don't change it by an awful lot each year.
Yeah.
So, look, I used to get these. I really enjoyed them. I do like the formula. However, I just can't support them anymore. Like, I just can't. And this feels like they're attempting to virtue signal, that they're like, look, clap us on the back, we're doing something inclusive. And I'm like, but you're not.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, this really isn't. Do better.
It's like, yeah, like they're like, oh, we're gonna try, but then they fail epically. Like, they really need, like, it looks like white people trying to do makeup for darker skin tone people and be like, oh, this is dark enough because it looks really dark on my skin.
Yeah. I mean, all I can say is, you know, that there aren't any people of color on the board or in higher up positions in that brand.
Yeah.
Because if there were, they would have pulled it and said, this is ridiculous.
Just like, they need to be more inclusive. That's it.
Yeah, end of. We're not saying anymore. 31% of you want it, whereas 69% of you said no thanks. Then, oh my gosh, don't you know it? NARS have come out with some holiday stuff. Can you guess what one of the things is called? Can you? I
They
think so.
can't get over the orgasm thing.
They really can't. And like, everything in there is along those lines. So they have an unwrapped orgasm blush duo gift set, which is Orgasm and Orgasm X. They have the Pleasure Seeker Afterglow lip balm gift set with Orgasm, Clean Cut Turbo, and Orgasm X. Take a drink every time I say orgasm. You will be dead by the end of the episode. Then they have the unwrapped mini eyeshadow palette. Meh, it is what it is. Endless orgasm mini gift set. That sounds exhausting, but my God, you'd have abs by the end of it, is what I feel.
Endless orgasm.
Yeah, like there isn't a medical condition that happens, and it's apparently awful. Like I don't have it, obviously. They have the mini blush orgasm, the mini lip balm orgasm, and mini blush brush, and then the double climax mascara duo gift set.
It's like they have the climax and orgasm. It's always like climax, orgasm, climax.
Afterglow,
orgasm.
pleasure seeker. Like,
yeah, boring stuff with names that they think are edgy.
But do you know what I always find funny? It reminds me of like that guy at school who talks about how much sex he has, but you know he is not having sex.
Yeah.
Like it's like they're overcompensating. They're like, "Do you know what I did last night with Mildred?" And I'm like, "You didn't do anything. You sat and watched Law and Order again, didn't you?
Yeah.
And fell asleep reading a John Grisham novel. Like there's nothing wrong with that, but just own it. Like be okay with it. Like it's. I mean, none of this
is boring.
Yeah, honestly, like
boring. The house down roots, everything. Like it's just that it's nothing new. It's just like it feels like they're caught up in a loop, on an orgasm loop,
yeah,
that they can't get out of.
And it sounds like fun to be on an orgasm loop, but in this instance, it's not great. Do you know what?
But it's like it's gonna get boring at some stage.
But do you know what I was thinking? You know, like how after you have arrived, you end up being very sleepy. And you kind of you're like snuggling your partner, and then you're like, this is what that is. This collection is the sleep.
Yeah, this is like after orgasm.
Yeah, which okay.
Yeah, it should be called after orgasm.
Yeah. Had one done. Like, look, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And when I put it to you guys, 22% of you guys said that you wanted it. And then the very last thing we're going to talk about is Shu Uemura. Well done me for pronouncing that, because I always stumble on it. Shu Uemura are collaborating with Hello Kitty. So, you know the drill. They have a lot of different things. They have like an eyeshadow palette. They have some cleansing oils, liners, lipsticks, all that sort of jazz, and that is coming sometime soon.
I don't like it. Like it's cute, like it's cutest, but I'm like the prices of Shu Uemura is not for this. I don't want this at the price of what you're gonna have to pay to get it.
Yeah, I totally agree. The packaging is super, super cute. Just from the glimpse we've seen of the eyeshadow palette, I'm like, it doesn't match with Hello Kitty, because Hello Kitty is pastel. So this seems like much more
like Hello Kitty after dark.
Yeah. Hello Kitty's walking the streets. Oh no. They're getting jumped on. Oh dear. And don't get me wrong, like I really like dark tones. Like that's my happy place. But it doesn't really make sense with that collab. Now I haven't seen the rest of it. You're seeing what I'm seeing.
Like an old woman palette.
Yeah.
Like, you know, one of those like Chanel, Dior. It's look like that.
Yeah.
Don't like.
They're like, oh, I'm being edgy today. But I'm also like, if it is that demographic, are they necessarily going to want a Hello Kitty thing?
Yeah, that's so confusing. It's like they don't even know who Hello Kitty is or what it is. You know,
I mean, honestly, it's a very weird collab, and I've seen it executed much better by other companies in the past. And then when I put it to you guys, 27% of you said totally cute. Anyways, that's it, guys. We had loads to talk about this week. You know the drill. During the week, tag me in things so that then I can curate this together, and we can talk about things and come together like a family and not bash brands, but you know, have a little talk about things. Do please follow, subscribe, etc. to Tia. She is annoyingly talented. You know, do please, you know, like, comment, and subscribe to me, because at the end of the day, this is my channel and it is all about me.
It is a Teresa show, so.
Turn on the notification bell so that you can find out about more of our weekly releases and rants, and then my rated or slated and other things during the week. You know, just the mishmash of confusion that happens on this channel. Do please share, because sharing is caring. Unless, of course, it's an STD, in which case, you know, wrap it up. That'd be gross. But that's it. That's the end of the video, and we will see you guys in the next one. Bye!